Welcome to the show. Today we have with us Chris Shei, CEO and co-founder of Onesafe. Onesafe is a crypto-friendly neobank for companies, and it's available globally. But I'm going to kick it off to Chris to give a more detailed introduction about himself.
Hey, yeah, Chris, founder of Onesafe. Onesafe is a crypto-friendly neobank for companies globally. We just had this vision that in the future, every business will be a crypto company, and the fact that they just will want to be able to receive and send money via the rails that are the smoothest, which just so happens to be crypto.
Awesome, yeah. And for people who maybe, even if they've used crypto, they might not understand why the rails are the smoothest. Can you go a little into why the rails are actually an improvement over traditional finance?
Yeah, I guess if you've done some of the transactions in the past, like you've done like a wire or a Swift or an ACH, like sometimes the money doesn't arrive until a few days later, and then you're like messaging them. You're like, "Hey, I didn't get the money. Like, can you send me proof of payment or this and that?" The nice part about crypto is it's all public. It's on chain. It's instant. There's no kind of like distinction about which country you're on or which country or which business or banking rails you're using. And so you basically have this very simple and seamless way to transfer funds because in the Web3 sense, there's no such thing as a global ecosystem. It's just actually just one address, all in the same network, which is the internet.
The internet, right? Yeah, it makes
Exactly.
there's no barrier. I mean, it really is crazy if people have never actually, even if they own it and they've never actually used crypto in business. I have people that I work with and I don't even know what country they're in.
Right.
A lot of
Exactly.
times, yeah, or they're I know what country they originate in, like what their passport says, but
Where are they
they
right now?
where are they right now? Yeah, I'll be like, oh, I can't talk right now. It's the middle of the night. I'm in Hong Kong, and I'll be like, oh, I didn't know you were living in Hong Kong right now, and that's just how it goes when it's a global ecosystem like that. But I want to get more into like your background, how you actually came to be building in this space. Can you share a little bit more about that?
For sure. So I got into crypto a long time ago in 2013, the same way most people did it, which was, getting a fake ID off Silk Road. The best way to do it was to buy Bitcoin, and I was like, "What is this?" And then when Bitcoin actually popped off, I think it went to like $800-900 in the first like little bull run. I went to like withdraw my Bitcoin from Silk Road, and then um, the site got seized by the FBI. Um, but that was my first foray into Web3. Um, and then just kind of like stuck around with it, like tried to like understand it a little bit. I didn't really see the applications of it. But I thought it was quite interesting because of the vision it had, but it wasn't there yet. There were some stables that were coming out, like Tether and stuff, but then there were kind of like everybody was talking about the risks there. And then actually, what happened was in 2018, about or so, kind of similar to what like Sam Bankman-Fried was doing, the arbitrage globally with the difference in prices with Bitcoin. I was kind of doing the same thing, but I was kind of doing the funds. I was doing it through my personal accounts, and then a lot of these bank. A lot of these banks were seeing these like funds transfers between exchanges and back to my bank account, and they just debanked me. And so I got debanked by Citibank,
Wow.
Chase, Schwab, and so I decided, you know what, like I'm tired of this. I'm gonna start my own crypto-friendly neobank that understands the ecosystem, that understands that like not everybody that does this is trying to do something illegal. There's actually like an interesting use case around just Web3 startups. So when I started this startup, it started kind of as like this idea for consumers to be able to access crypto a little bit easier. We actually started working and building, and we found a lot of our kind of colleagues that were starting crypto companies to have issues for their own operations. To maybe they wanted to pay their employees in crypto, maybe they wanted to be paid in crypto, maybe they got an investment in crypto, and they wanted to just kind of like simplify that whole process and create one account that could do everything. And so they came to us, and that's kind of how we pivoted into businesses. And now it's interesting. we see more and more companies that don't do crypto at all, that are just completely Web2 native businesses that come and open up a OneSafe because they see a lot of the benefits that crypto provides, which I'm happy to kind of dig into if that's interesting.
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting, actually.
Cool. So here's I think like there's a few interesting use cases. Obviously, there's like the Web3 companies, and that's like obviously a very clear use case where they can do everything all in one platform. But the most interesting to me are the completely like Web2 companies, and these are companies that are say dev shops in Argentina. We just onboarded they're like a car reseller, or they're like a secondhand car shop. Like, you go to there and then like they like sell you a car that's been used or whatever. They're like a car dealership. That's what it's called. And they came to open up a OneSafe, and how come? Well, the car dealership wanted to pay a person in Africa. Um, a salary because the person in Africa was helping them do things like cold calls, and there was just no way, no easy way, and no cheap way for them to manage it. And their salesperson in Africa was like, "Hey, if you can pay me in crypto, like I can figure the rest of the final leg out." And they were like, "Okay, but like, how do I get this like crypto bank account?" And they found us, and then spun up a OneSafe account, and now they're paying that employee in Africa. And the other one was in Argentina back in a few years ago, and now you're seeing a lot more with Bolivian companies. There's a bit of like an economic, I don't know if it's like a crisis or anything, but it's very tough. There's a lot of inflation. They needed a stable currency. It's very hard for an Argentinian company to open up an Argentinian bank account that can hold dollars. It's just not like possible. And so they came to us. They opened up a OneSafe account. They would get paid from businesses in the US, businesses in Europe into their OneSafe account, and then they'd be able to hold their funds in US dollars. But it's technically like US backed stables. But for all intents and purposes, for them to kind of like manage their finances at Treasury, it's basically the same as the US dollar. And then they are kind of protected from their economic kind of like, I guess it would be like, risk of being in Argentina, and that risk of their local currency.
Oh, that's really cool. That car dealership story uh, is awesome. I mean, even as a someone with a, I guess you would call it a crypto company, certainly crypto related, because I do content about it. Whenever I
Right.
make transactions in crypto, the like accounting and compliance and everything for that is so cumbersome because it's like the beauty is I can instantly send money, so it's so
Right.
much superior to traditional rails in that way. The downside of just doing it from a wallet that I created that I have labeled as payments in my ledger is that actually keeping track of everything becomes tedious.
And that's exactly it, right? Like the the tooling and I guess just like, I don't know if you want to call it software or services, just isn't fully developed yet, right? Like a lot of the times companies need a bank account, they need an exchange, they need a wallet. Now they're moving money from their bank account to their exchange to get crypto, and then once they get it from their exchange, they're moving it to their wallet, so maybe now they can send it out to whomever. And they're just kind of playing, like they're juggling between like these 3 4 different platforms, and it's a lot of operational headache. Now you have to like reconcile your wallet transactions with the money that you're sending to the exchange, and you're selling it and you're moving it to your bank, and it's like too much lift. So we wanted to simplify all of that and provide just one solution where you want to, and the key really was it was married to the Web2 rails, because at the end of the day, um, Web2 is still such a big like, and by Web2 I mean like just regular paying with a credit card, regular like just regular bank account transactions. You need it all kind of in a seamless ecosystem for you to be able to transact, to talk, to pay people. If you want to send a Venmo or something, that's still linked to your bank account, right? So it was really key for us to be able to provide the Web3 crypto wallet exchange stuff married to that Web2 side, where you can do ACH, you can do Swift, you can do bank transactions all in one place.
Got it. And so, what does the as you were building that out, what what did you find was straightforward or more straightforward than you expected, and what actually proved to be a challenge?
Here's the interesting part. The initial concept, and I really believe this for kind of like just whenever you're building something interesting. You just find a very simple problem and you just build on that, and then you just kind of continue building and improving your solution. Our version one was just an easy way for you to on ramp from a bank account and get it into crypto and make payments. And then easy off ramp from crypto into your bank account, and then you can transfer it. We really tried to like just version one was this kind of like super seamless bridge. You could just kind of like send money in, and then get it into crypto and then send money crypto in and then get into money. It was kind of like we just felt like I don't know if you like like Photoshop, it has all these bells and whistles and it's so complex and blah blah blah. And then like Canva came and it's now like so much more easy to use, and it doesn't you don't need to buy. You don't need all these 25 million meme coins on our app, because you really only just want to transact in stables or like five or six currencies. And so that was kind of the first thing we took. We just took that step one, just simplified everything. And then as we talked to more customers and users, then we started finding more interesting use cases. More and more companies are becoming global. You can see that like car dealership in the US is hiring an African employee just because it's easier to work remote. It's easier to, and it's much more affordable. You get a lot more value that way, right? And I think like the world is moving more to this kind of like global space. And so one thing that we've been trying to work on is just adding more currencies, supporting euros, Mexican peso is coming soon. The piece that is missing still, that I think is what's kind of holding us from being able to use stables globally, is the local off ramp. Like the local off ramp is the issue still, where like when you get that stable coin to wherever it needs to go, ultimately whoever that person is, they're still living in Hong Kong, they're still living in Africa. They need a good way for them to get that cryptocurrency into their local bank account for them to be able to spend in everyday transactions, because not everybody right now accepts crypto. But as we reach this kind of tipping point, as we reach this point where like the larger majority of people actually do accept crypto, then there will never be that need to kind of like do a local off ramp, I would say.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And then, sorry, I'm looking through your website right now, and
For sure.
I'm gonna ask some questions that are hopefully useful to people listening for the interview, but also because I'm realizing this may solve some challenges that I have. um, and but it's all going to be included in the interview because this will be helpful for other people too. So I'm looking, for example, you have like Web3 invoicing.
Cool.
So
So
yeah, I'll let you take that.
yeah. I mean, I can even share a little bit. And the nice part is like, if you're facing this problem, like there's probably a bunch of people that are facing this problem. So when you're a crypto company or a Web3 company, you might need to send invoices in a bunch of different currencies, right? Like maybe you want to send an invoice, but they can't pay you in crypto. They need to pay you in euros, or they need to pay you US dollars. And we want to offer a way that you can be paid in euros, but the funds come in as crypto, right? Or maybe, you're a Solana company, but like for some reason somebody wants to pay you in Polygon USDC or something like that, right? Well, then you're all of your treasury is in Solana, and now you're like, okay, I got like this 5,000 USDC on another wallet on another chain. Like, what am I going to do with that? So, really, what we wanted to do was provide one place where you could just manage all of it. And I don't know if I can uh, share here. So, in this invoicing section, you can now create an invoice and send an invoice to whomever you want. So, you can say, hey, I want to let's do here. I want to invoice somebody 500 US dollars, and I want to receive those funds as Solana USDC. Or if you want, you can say, I want to do an invoice for euros, but I want to receive the funds in Solana USDC. Or you could say, hey, I want to actually receive the funds in crypto. And then you can select kind of like which tokens and which currencies you want to receive it in. The nice part about Onesafe is you get basically a bank account and a wallet and an exchange all in one place. So you'll have take a look here. You'll have the let me make sure I'm not like logged logged out. You'll have the cryptocurrency wallet here. You can say, hey, I want to accept Solana USDC, and then this would be your Solana USDC address that would show up. There's a built-in exchange that you can use to kind of swap between tokens and currencies, and then you can also send the funds out as crypto, ACH, Wire, Swift, and all of that.
Really interesting. And then as far as the bank accounts, is that like where's the money actually sitting?
So, great question here. Okay, there's a couple of interesting things to think about here. One is in the US, there's something called the FDIC insurance. Europe has something similar. I don't really remember what it's called. But the reason why they have this insurance is because banks, when you deposit money into a bank, the bank is able to take your money and loan it out. There's a something called like fractional reserve banking. There's a specific percentage of funds they're able to loan out. So let's say it's 10%. You deposit $100, they're able to loan $90 of that out. And what happens when there's a bank run, when everybody goes to the bank to try to withdraw their money, the bank actually doesn't have enough money. And so the bank, that's called a bank run. And then the government comes in and steps in and is like, all right, guys, I'm going to make all of you guys whole. And that really kind of like replaced faith in the system. So with Onesafe, we don't provide FDIC insurance because when you deposit the funds are held in stable backed crypto. But that stable backed crypto isn't being lent out, right? If you wanted to withdraw all of your tokens and put it in your own wallet, you could do that. If you wanted to use your own wallet to kind of hold all of your crypto, you'd be able to do that. And the nice part is like because you're not lending those funds out, you have full custody when you want to put it into your own wallet, or you can use our custodial providers to hold and custody those funds. The funds are held in stable backed, in basically US dollar backed stables like
Oh, okay.
USDC, et cetera, et cetera. And if you wanted to do euros, even like Euro C and all that good stuff.
Is it all USDC? Is it the user choice or is it a basket?
So it is right now, it's actually user choice. So you want to hold it in USDC Solana, you can. You want to hold it on USDT on another network, you could. So it is user choice. Soon we will abstract that all away because most people don't really care like which network and which token they're holding it in. They just want to be able to send it on whichever token and on whichever network and receive whatever network and whatever token and get US dollars. So we're probably either working on minting our own kind of like US dollar backed stablecoin or working with a company called Bridge, which just got acquired by Stripe, and using their stable backed token, which provides yields. So I wouldn't, sorry, don't say yields, say rewards. It provides rewards, and then you'll be able to kind of take advantage of the fact that you're holding a balance there.
Got it. Got it. Very, very interesting. So if someone wanted to get started using OneSafe, say they've got a company and they want to hire people globally, or they're a crypto native company that wants to use these services, where would they go to start?
Um, so you can actually, it's all very self-serve. You can go to one app.onesafe.io or onesafe.io. You can log in, you can create an account, you can submit your KYB, KYC. On our side, actually, we've been getting a very large influx of applications. A lot more people are finding out about us. A lot of international companies are kind of using us to be able to make global payments. I'll drop a maybe like a Dynamo DeFi promo code for you guys for all the businesses that want to jump on. Right, technically the accounts are free. There's no monthly minimums. There's no fee to sign up or anything. But because of our large influx of volumes, it's basically all on wait list. If you want to do an early access fee, you can go ahead and do that. And then you'd be able to we'd onboard you quickly. But for now, it is on wait list, and then I'll drop a promo code for all of for your community.
Awesome. It's much appreciated, I'm sure. And then final question is, if you were not working on OneSafe, what would you be working on?
That's a good question. Would I still work on crypto? I've been in crypto for a long time, and I actually really do enjoy it. The next thing I would do if it was crypto related, probably this local off ramp piece. I really do think like that's the last step before you can start seeing global crypto payouts. And then if it wasn't in crypto, I'd use AI to build an EA, like a Jarvis style EA. And I think like there's a lot of things we could do there.
Awesome. Yeah. And in crypto, not in crypto, both are fun. Last week I was interviewing the founder of a multi-billion-dollar protocol, and I said, "What would you be doing?" And he said something in robotics. So if he
In
wasn't doing it,
robotics.
yeah, if he wasn't doing his specific protocol, so so we're open to all answers. Um, awesome. Well, it's been really great to have you. If people want to follow you, they want to follow Onesafe, where can they do so?
On Twitter, 0xshei, Shei. And then I think our Twitter is OneSafeIO.
Great. We'll link both down below. Thanks again for coming on, Chris. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
And thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.